Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise and glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honors to our apostles, the elders, the great millstone, never well. Peace and blessings to the whole full elect, out here pushing truth and sincerity. The water of which I do, we love you. We appreciate you through the spirit of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, and Shalom to you all. It's your brother Dawah Dodd from the great millstone camp in Atlanta. Lord willing to give you an edifying lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. If you're watching this now and you're a so-called black, Native American, or Latino man or woman, then you are a Hebrew Israelite according to the Holy Bible. You will not find black, Latino, or Native American in the Bible. So you have to know who you are according to the Bible. Black, Native American, Latino are false terms. If you don't look like a so-called black, Native American, or Latino, but you feel like this is the truth and it resonates with your spirit, there's a good possibility that you could be a Hebrew Israelite. It does not matter what you look like. It does not matter about the color of your skin. It only matters that your bloodline goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. This is Ezekiel chapter 1. I'm going to just start at 1. Ezekiel received prophecies or visions. It says the vision of 4 figures. Now it came to pass in the 13th year, in the 4th month, and the 5th day of the month, as I was among the captives by the river of Chabar, that the heavens were open, and I saw visions of the Heavenly Father. Oh, it's like the visions of God, because really it's Elohim, right? It says in the 5th day of the month, which was the 5th year of King Joachim's captivity, the word of the Lord, in all capitals, the Heavenly Father, the word of the Lord came expressly unto Ezekiel the priest, the son of Buzi, in the land of the Chaldees, by the river Chabar, and the hand of the Lord was there upon them. All right, and we know the Chaldeans, by the river Chabar, and okay, this is about what we're about to go into is about the visions of these angels, and the image of these angels, the description of them and their chariots. All right, chariots of the Lord. I believe chariots is I want to say Recheb in the Hebrew, but I'm gonna look it up. We'll figure that out. Let's see here. Where was I? Verse 4 says, "And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding in itself, and a brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof, as the color of the amber of the midst of fire." So picture this, him being, where he's at in the empire, right, where he's prophesying, and being a time that it is, and how he would describe something that looks like what we call today a spaceship or a UFO, right? So they call it a whirlwind, because it whirled around, right? It spun around, right? It said it came out of the north, a great cloud. They call it a cloud, right? Because it was in the sky. It was up in the heavens. They also said it was a fire enfolding itself. Why? Because when we see those great lights, to them, it may, the best way for them to describe it would be a big fire in the sky, a cloud in the sky, and a pillar of fire by night. Cloud by day, pillar of fire by night. That's what they would call these things during those times. They have to think about how they see these things during the time that, they're living in. We call it today a spaceship. They call it a cloud or a pillar of fire, or a whirlwind, or a wheel within a wheel, or a roll, right? It says, and brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof, as a color of amber. Yeah, that fire, out of the midst of the fire. Also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures. And this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man. And every one had 4 faces, and every one had 4 wings. And their feet were straight feet. And the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot. And they sparkled like the color of burnished brass. Right, because they were dark-skinned men. Right, it says, and they had the hands of a man under their wings on their 4 sides, and they 4 had their faces in their wings. their wings were joined one to another. They turned not with it when they went. They went every one straight forward. As for the likeness of their faces, they four had the face of a man, and the face of a lion on the right side, and they four had the face of an ox on the left side. They four also had the face of an eagle. So you're looking like yo, this is like, this is wondrous to see, right? Because you got to think about it. Even today, like, we got the description of it, but if we saw angels and, because they can come in whatever form they want, right? But if we saw the chariots like face to face, it would blow you away, right? Now, we know what they are, but they would still be like, seeing them clearly for the first time, like, wow, man, it would be astonishing. Let's not make light of that. The scriptures tell us to marvel not, and why does it say that? Because we're going to marvel. We're literally going to be like, oh shoot, Barak the Yahweh Shai, and now, everybody else going to be dismayed, but we're gonna understand. We're gonna have wisdom and understanding of what it is, but it's still going to be a beautiful thing to see. All right, it says, thus were their faces, and their wings were stretched upward. Two wings of every one were joined one to another, and two covered their bodies. And they went every one straight forward, whether the spirit was to go, they went, and they turned not when they went. That's what so wherever they would go, their ships would follow too. They all went the same way, right? Or their minds were connected, right? It says, as for the likeness of the living creatures, their appearance was like burning coals of fire, and like the appearance of lamps, and went up and down among the living creatures. And the fire was bright, and out of the fire went forth lightning. And the living creatures ran and returned as the appearance of a flash of lightning. Now, as I beheld, the living creatures beheld one wheel upon the earth by the living creatures with his four face. The appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of beryl, and that's like a green. And they four had one likeness, and their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. So this is the description of what the chariots look like. It says, when they went up their four sides, and they turned not when they went. As for their rings, they were so high that they were dreadful, and their rings were full of eyes round about them four. And when the living creatures went, the wheels went by them. And when the living creatures were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up. And this is what I was talking about earlier. It's told where their minds are connected. So wherever they want the chariots to go, that's where they go. And there's no hesitation, no lag like Esau's technology, right? No disturbance, no hiccups. It was just perfect. Whatever they went, that's where the wheels went. The chariots, right? Whithersoever the spirit was to go, they went. Thither was their spirit to go. And the wheels were lifted up over against them. For the spirit of the living creature was in the wheels, right? So you got to picture, Esau calls them aliens, and they make movies about them. People think they're aliens, but it's angels with inside the chariots. It said, when those went, these went, and when those stood, these stood, and when those were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up over against them. For the spirit of the living creature was in the wheels. You see? So they're connected. Right, they're connected with what you call UFOs. They're connected with their chariots. It's beautiful, man. And the likeness of the firmament upon the heads of the living creature was as the color of the terrible crystal stretched forth over their heads above. And under the firmament were their four wings straight, the one toward the other. Every one had two, which covered on this side, and every one had two, which covered on that side their bodies. And when they went, I heard a noise of the wings, like the noise of great waters, as the voice of Almighty, the voice of speech, as the noise of the host. And we know that the word host means an army, right? Right, army or a host, right? It says, when they stood, they let down their wings. Now, this is going more into what the angels look like, but I'll just read it verbatim. It says, and there was a voice from the firmament that was over their heads when they stood and had let down their wings. And above the firmament that was over their head was the likeness of a throne, as the appearance of a sapphire stone. And upon the likeness of the throne was the likeness of the appearance of a man above it. And I saw the color of amber, that fire, as the appearance of the fire round about within it, from the appearance of his loins even upward, and from the appearance of his loins even downward. I saw as it were the appearance of fire, and had a brightness round about it. And as the appearance of the bow that is in the cloud of the day of rain, so was the appearance of the brightness round about. This was the appearance of the lightness of the glory of the Lord. You see, it's all capital letters, right? And when I saw it, now this is just a vision of him, right? It says, I fell upon my face and I heard the voice of one that spake. All right. So this is a vision that Ezekiel's having about the Lord. So, yeah, it's a vision of the Lord. And but mainly it was about, what the angels were described as in Ezekiel chapter 1. And so were the chariots. So when you ever thinking about, how to explain to somebody, hey, what do angels look like? Also, hey, what do, if you're explaining somebody, how to, what the chariots of the Lord look like, if somebody ever asks you, hey, what's you believe in aliens or do you believe in UFOs? You could tell them, hey man, it's angels, man, and let me show you, and let me show you why. You can go to Ezekiel chapter 1. You can literally break it down like that and let them know, hey, look, during those times they told them these were clouds by the daytime because that's all they understood, and then even today we see them, in the clouds. Right, so they call them a cloud, and then at night they have all these lights. You would call them pillars of fire back then, but right now we call them UFOs or spaceships, right? UFOs, and they all these lights we see. That's what they saw, and they called them pillars of fire. And you could explain that to them, and then you could explain to them how, look, man, that's angels in there. It's not aliens. Check this out. It says wherever they go, the chariots go, right, or the cloud go. When they stood, they stood. These stood. Right, and the spirit was within it. It had eyes, right? They could see. You could explain these things to them, man. And if they forbid it, then okay, well, let them believe in aliens. The Lord, they didn't open his eyes, but at least you did your part. You told them, hey, look, man, that's what the Bible says, man. If you believe in the Bible, you believe in God, then you believe in this. So that's how you break down the, what the angels and the chariots look like to them. And the understanding of it, give them the understanding. Just go to Ezekiel chapter 1, man. It's all in one chapter, and there's many other scriptures as well, right? Revelation verse 1, verse 7, but I'm going to close it out because I know somebody's going to interrupt me here in a second. So Revelation chapter 1, verse 7, it says, behold, he cometh with clouds. Now, didn't we say that the chariots of the Lord were clouds? It says, behold, he cometh with the clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, because he's going to come in the biggest cloud, the biggest chariot, the biggest so-called UFO, and also the person that pierced him, meaning that that person will be reincarnated here when Yahweh Shai makes his return, proving that there's no hell and it's actually a reincarnation. Every eye shall see him. Why? Because those guys will be on this earth today. The one that pierced him, every eye shall see him. Reincarnation. There you go. All right. Now it said, behold, we come with the clouds. Well, let's read this. Right, and we've done this before, man, plenty of times. This is Acts chapter 1 and verse 9. It says, and when he had spoken these things, which is Yahweh Shai had spoken these things to the disciples, right? What happened? It says, and when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of the sight. So that means a chariot received him out of the sight. That's where they get that in the movies, where they say how he's been beamed up, right? Now they go way off where they say, oh, somebody's been beamed up and, probed, right? Where, they had stuff put in their butt. Angels not doing that. They're not committing sodomy, right? So it said, and while they looked steadfastly toward heaven as he went up, behold, two men stood by them in white apparel. It says, which also said, ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up in heaven, right? Because he was taken up in the sky, right? So that's the heaven. This same Yahweh Shai, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven. So how do we see him go into heaven? Through the cloud, which is a chariot, which is so-called UFO. Revelations 1 and 7 said what? Behold, he cometh with clouds. So he said the same way you saw him leave is the same way he's coming back. Revelations 1 and 7 says that he come with clouds, meaning he's coming back the same way that he left in the chariot. There you go. All right, so Lord willing, you was edified with that. I want to give all praise and glory honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rachakadash. Double honors to our apostles, the elders, the great millstone, ever well. Peace and blessing to the hopeful elect, our pushing this truth and sincerity. The water for which I do, we love you. We appreciate you through the spirit of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, and shalom to you.